What's going on, people? We are back in the building and we are talking the last crescendo. What an amazing fight card. I don't know if it was fight card of the century, like everyone's describing, mostly because of how it turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Now, it was an amazing card. Obviously, I said before, people have been, where the hell were you? I don't know if anyone cares, but hey, I was moving house, so now I'm here. I couldn't do a fight card prediction. I couldn't react to all the crazy dramas that were going on, but now we can review it. It was billed to be the fight card of the century, and I believe it would have been. I think the dramas and stuff would have been there. It would have been a lot better than it was with the replacements. Floyd Schofield obviously taking ill, dramas, replaced by Josh Padley. I just don't know, man. People are very harsh on Shakur, I believe. I know that he has been a boring fighter. People talk about him running all the time, But in this fight, he didn't. And he still gets stick. And I get it. Like, Josh Padley came in on 2 days notice, or what, a week's notice, sorry. So I understand you should feel like, oh, he's a part-time boxer. So I've seen like a lot of Americans say this, he's a part-time boxer, so he should have put him away quickly, or a lot of Tank fans. Most boxers are part-time boxers. There's a lot of boxers, other than at the top level, a lot of boxers have a second job. That is just the way it is. And even at the top level, there's some people that just don't have the profile. They're still ranked highly, but still have to have another job. So let's not do that. Yes, it was a week's notice, so we can give it that caveat. Josh Padley is a warrior, and I'm going to give him that. Shakur doesn't have the most powerful of hands, of course, but his defense was on point. But he was not running. He was not moving backwards the whole time. Maybe because he knew Padley wasn't as much of a threat. But he was coming forward and he was trying to hurt him, punching with intention, and he stopped him. Yes, it was a 9th round, but yes, he stopped him. Padley was getting outclassed in there for a lot of rounds, but his warrior spirit carried him through. Only thing I didn't really like from Shakur was his attitude. I didn't really like, this guy's kind of saved your fight. He stepped in very last minute. And obviously, we know boxing is boxing, but I feel like could have been a little bit more respectful. Not obviously when you're fighting, to punch him and say thank you or whatever. But I think before and after the fight, it was a little bit too much handbags. Is what it is, but gives Shakur a little bit of a break, man. Beterbiev versus Parker. Now, I've seen a few different mixed reactions on this one. People said Beterbiev shouldn't have taken a fight. Some people said it was a dive, it was a fix, all this stuff. I don't agree with either of those. I understand why you say Beterbiev shouldn't have taken it. Like, I don't think this is going to affect him that much. I feel like he's still going to have that fight with F.A. Ajagba. It's supposed to be in May. People say it still might happen because of the medical suspension when you get knocked out. It may not happen. I believe it will happen. I think that, that was why Billy Nelson jumped up and stopped it so early. I know the ref stopped it, or that was kind of the official decision, but Billy Nelson was on the ring apron. And I believe this is why he knew, oh gosh, we got a fight in May. And I didn't like how your legs did that stanky leg and you did that wobble. Beterbiev, I don't believe he's a boogeyman division, but I still believe he's a dangerous fight for anyone. I think if he had a full camp, he would have beaten Parker. If you watch that fight back, he was beating Parker in that first round, in my opinion. He was winning that first round, and he was beginning to turn the screw a little bit in that second round. And he didn't have the punch resistance. When you spar regularly and when you're in camp, you're used to getting hit in the head. Your body gets used to it a little bit, soaks up a little bit. Obviously, he also was out of shape and hadn't slept. So getting clipped on the top of the head like that and your leg doing a dance and kind of that late reaction, it's a dangerous place to be. So people talking about, it was a fix. Stop your nonsense. It was not a fix. I did not believe it was a fix at all. Yeah, it was to protect the fighter, taking everything into account. He's coming at 2 days notice. He probably hasn't slept. Like, yes, you'd be like, oh, well, that isn't what should happen. On normal circumstances, no, this wasn't a normal circumstance. We understand that, so I understand the ref stopping it. He stood up, yes, on like 7 or 8, didn't look steady on his legs. The fight can get called. It's absolutely fine. But yeah, I believe it doesn't affect him. I think Beterbiev will come back in a big fight next year. Parker, what is next for Joseph Parker? He deserves the Usyk fight. Give Parker the Usyk fight, dang it. I don't believe he'll beat Usyk at all, but I just think he deserves it. He deserves a shot at that title. And then I think Usyk should be able to fight whoever he wants after and then retire off into the sunset. Rest of the card was all right. I loved the first fight, of course, or the first kind of main card fight. Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatche. Now, Josh Buatche, I am a fan. I do like him, but I feel like him in that fight kind of showed that he's either regressing or standing still. He was not great in that fight. His heart was great, very good heart, very good determination. Wasn't moving his head, wasn't using any real, using defense here and there, but just really stood there to be hit quite a lot of the time. And for someone with his level, an Olympian who's been in the game this long, I expected more. But also giving respect to Callum Smith, absolute real good fighter. You know, there was suspicions of what does he actually want to do? What is he in it for the payday? Boom, boom, boom. When you think about it, he's only lost to Canelo and Beterbiev, which is not, that's not too shabby type of people to lose to, some pound for pound greats on that one. So he showed that he's a level above. He showed his inside game is really good for such a tall fighter, which I like. I like being able to, I'm a tall fighter myself, and I like kind of subverting expectations. You don't expect him to be able to fight that well on the inside, but he fights very well on the inside. The inside, that left hook was brilliant. The body work was absolutely brilliant. He took a couple of big shots himself, tested his chin a little bit, and he stood in there and fought. Both men did very good warrior spirit. Love that fight. Ortiz versus Madrimov. Be honest, I got bored in this fight, if I'm very honest. I know Ortiz won, but I just felt like he was following Madrimov around a lot of the time. Madrimov, that for me was running a little bit. And I understood Virgil Ortiz is a power puncher, and he did have some successes in there, Madrimov, but I don't know, there's something about his style, just keep bouncing and moving. I didn't find it very exciting. I actually preferred the Shakur fight to that fight, if I'm honest. I don't really know what's going on with that. It was that, for me, that was a big lull in the card, a very big lull. Virgil Ortiz, what's next? Who knows? Obviously, Terence Crawford is moving out soon of that 154 division. I believe he's going to fight Canelo. So who knows what Virgil Ortiz is going to do? Wasn't really too interested, from being perfectly honest. Hamza Shiraz versus Adames. Ooh, this is the only kind of, like, let's say, negative side of the fight, or negative side of the card. That was not a draw. Adames won that fight. And you can see that Hamza was definitely concerned with Adames's power. There was a lot of power from Adames. First few rounds, it was a bit of a feeling out process. You saw that Shiraz was catching Adames with some good counter right hands, step back right hands, sniper-like right hands. But it didn't seem to affect Adames too much. And that was when you could see that Shiraz was a little bit worried. His movement was good, Shiraz, especially in the early rounds. It was moving away really well. Adames was just shutting him down. He was very active, very aggressive, catching Shiraz with some serious power in his shots, very explosive shots. And you can see that Shiraz didn't want to know. You know, you can see that there was a difference in power between them. I don't know what's next. You can kind of maybe make a case for Shiraz moving up. Maybe it's a weight issue, because obviously he's a very tall fighter at that weight. So maybe it's an issue there. But, you know, I don't see him getting through the other world champ at that level. I see Adames is obviously, he was probably the not weaker world champ, because he's obviously a world champion, but you can see the team probably selected him thinking it would be an easier option, as I think he's going to struggle wherever he goes if he's trying to go for world champ status. You know, maybe now the Chris Eubank Jr. fight is on the horizon for him, but we shall see. Oh, I almost forgot the big boys. All right, I'm going to talk about this one in another video. We're talking about Caballero versus Zhang. I almost forgot about that one, but we're going to talk about that in another video, because I've got such special plan for it. I would just say I'm a Caballero fan right now. He is the true body snatcher. We'll get into another one. Like, share, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Peace.